Well, my friends, this is the final video in this apartment. This has been the place that I've lived for the past 7 years of my life here in Orange County, California. And today is the day that I'm handing back the keys and moving. And I'm creating this video because I wanted to share some of my experiences, mostly for myself, but also for those of you who are interested in my life and my journey over the last 7 years through my business, my personal life, and all the things that I've been challenged with and all the things I've learned. I thought, why not create one more video in this apartment when it's completely vacant? It's already all emptied out, I've already moved, but I have it for the rest of today. And I thought, why not create a video to just say farewell and to reminisce about the time that was and talk about where I'm going from here. So if that's interesting to you, please join me on the journey. Let's get into it. So I moved here in 2015 into this apartment here in Orange County, California, and this was the first place that I actually felt at home in the United States. I'd been in the country over 5 years, but I just never felt like I found my place. And this particular environment, for whatever reason, the lighting, the layout of the place, it just felt like my home for the first time. And I wanted to share that because I think it's very important to realize the impact that the environment has on you. Maybe you're living in a place where you're not feeling at home. And I think it's important to seek that out for yourself and to feel like wherever you are, you actually can be yourself. You feel inspired and you feel energized by your surroundings. Now, I spent a lot of time getting this place just right, buying the nice furniture that I wanted, putting up pictures, making sure the layout was just right. Being a bit of a minimalist myself, it was pretty sparse compared to other people's houses, but it worked for me. And I think that's really important too, is that you finish and complete the environment so that when you come home, you look at it and you feel great about yourself. Now, I know that's hard to do. Obviously, if you share a place with people, maybe you don't have the resources and the means to actually get the place exactly how you want it, but you can do something with the environment that you live in and make it your own, make it your home. And that was a big lesson that I learned here, was just feeling at home is a very important part of feeling happy as a person. So I would encourage you to think about that for your own life. Am I actually in a place where I feel I'm at home? And if not, maybe you need to keep seeking it to find it for yourself. This apartment was also the first place where I started my own business. Before starting my own business, I had worked as a consultant for over 10 years for a company based in Australia, which was an awesome company to work with. But for whatever reason, especially in my mid to late 30s, I started to get this urge to be an entrepreneur, to run my own show. And I didn't realize at the time what a struggle it would actually be. The reality of being a business owner, being self-employed, actually having to get my own clients and make my own money and do all the work. There was a lot more involved than I actually realized compared to when I worked as a corporate consultant. So it was a big lifestyle change for me, and I spent a lot of time here in my office and in my lounge room trying to improve my business, trying to find ways to grow my income, feeling a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. But over time, I got used to it, and I discovered that I have the ability to make my own life for myself financially, to actually start to determine my own future and to grow however I want to. And that was a really exciting thing for me. I'd never experienced that properly before, and it took until I was about 37, 38 years old to actually take that leap and to become a fully fledged entrepreneur and business owner. And this environment that I lived in for that time, it helped me to do that because it was an inspiration in a way. I wanted to keep this place, and there were times, especially during 2020 and 2021, where my income dropped because of COVID and just because of the reality of what we were going through, where I seriously wondered whether I'd still be able to afford to live here. But the motivation to stay and to actually have a high quality of life was something that drove me to find new opportunities, to find ways to keep my income up. And I think that's really important, is that you have to push yourself and have something that you're directed by. Sometimes it's a thing where you want to avoid something. Like I wanted to avoid losing this apartment. Maybe it's something you're working towards. But the challenges that I had in my life, the things that I had to overcome in business, really were helped along by the fact that I was inspired by this environment, that I wanted to be the person I wanted to be and to live my life in my own way. So that was a huge change that happened to me here in this place, was that I started to change my mindset and my identity to become a business owner and an entrepreneur. I'm grateful for the challenges that I had during those years. I'm still facing a lot of them today, but I've grown considerably as a result of taking that risk and going into business for myself. The next big change that happened for me here was my development in relationships. When I first moved here, I was still reeling from getting divorced several years earlier, and I've talked about this in different videos, but it really made me very cynical about relationships. I didn't have this belief that I would ever find the right person, and so I began to go into dating relationships with one foot out the door. I had a lot of okay relationships, nothing wrong with them at all, with the people I was dating and the experiences I was having. They were all wonderful people and I had a great time, but I never really gave my heart into the relationships because I wasn't ready. I was too damaged from the past, and that's nobody's fault except for mine. I just needed the time to grow and to develop. I did some counseling and I read a lot and I explored my inner world to overcome the pain that I had from my past relationships. And in this environment, I was able to do that. Living here on my own, I had a lot of space and a lot of time. And although I didn't find the right person for a long time, more about that in a minute, I did actually start to experience life more as a single man, being able to find myself, being able to travel, being able to meet new people and have different dating experiences. So I'm very grateful for that. And I think that's an important lesson I've got to take away too. Sometimes the time isn't right to find a relationship for yourself, and you need to explore, you need to learn more about yourself, you need to let go of the past in a lot of ways. And when you do, the right relationship will come along. Probably the most difficult thing that I went through living here over the last 7 years was the years during COVID and the pandemic in 2020 and 2021. I've talked about this in other videos a little bit, but one of the biggest things that changed for me during that time was I became single again. So the relationship that I had at the time broke up. I was isolated from family and friends. Most of them lived in Australia, all my family, and my friends here were on lockdown as well. So it was a very solo, isolated time for me. I felt very lonely. I felt like I didn't really have much support, and I had to depend on myself and also my family members at a distance. And I'm incredibly grateful, obviously, that I have a great support network of friends and family, but I also had to just look inwards to realize that I could get through this time for myself. And I think all of us go through those times in our lives. I seem to go through it in my early 40s where I just had this incredible lonely period, and it's something that I had to overcome in my own time. But it also made me realize the value of my relationships, my connections with my family. Even at a distance, I was able to have video chats and connect with my family, with my friends. As the world started to open back up, I really invested time and energy into building my friendships and relationships. I realized the true value of the connections that I had in my life. Before that, I was extremely focused on my ambitions and what I was trying to do in my life, but finally I started to see the value of relationships and the fact that I wanted to share my life with somebody properly and for the long term. And that, my friends, brings me to the wonderful news. The reason why I am moving out of this apartment. It's a big life change for me. Late last year, in October 2021, I met the woman who I believe is going to be the love of my life. She is the love of my life, and who I'm going to marry and to be with for the rest of my life. And it was an incredibly lucky experience, but it was also because I didn't give up. I didn't give up on love and relationships, even though I could have easily done that, especially after such a lonely time during COVID and then all the difficulty I had in the past. I still believed that I would meet the right person. I met her online through a dating app, something I'd never done before, and I didn't actually expect to get the result. But we met, we connected, and now we've fallen in love. And now I'm excited to say that we're moving in together. So that's the reason I'm leaving this bachelor pad. I'm saying farewell to this period of my life, not because I'm sad about it going, but because I'm excited about what the future holds. And there will be more videos, don't you worry, my friend. I will be around for a long time, probably for the rest of my life, sharing insights and personal growth. But I'm finally in a place in my life where I'm ready to share my life and to do it with a person who wants to share with me as well. So I'm incredibly excited about the future. I'm ready to let go of this place and to say farewell. And I think that's an important lesson to finish here with. When you are ready to grow and to develop, you have to let go of the past. You have to let go of things that you treasured for a long time if you want to progress and develop. And that's probably been the biggest lesson here, is that I am ready now to grow and to evolve and to be part of a truly connected relationship instead of being a single person and being a selfish, self-focused person. So my friend, thank you for taking this trip down memory lane with me. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited to start a new chapter of my life, and I really value you for being here with me and sharing the journey. I'm looking forward to hearing about your experiences. So please leave a comment below if you've had similar experiences over the last couple of years in business or in relationships, how you've developed as a person. I'm always curious to know your journey. And if you like what I'm doing here in this channel, please consider subscribing. We'd love to have you with us. My name is Daniel Midson-Short for the last time in this place, but many more to come in the future. Thanks for watching, and thank you for improving yourself. That's it. We're out of here.